I wonder what this does. Huh. Hi guys, how you all doing? This is the Redstone Ninja here, and today we are going to be building something amazing. So let's just crack straight on that once I can find this lever, and there we go, turn that ridiculous machine off. So as you might have guessed from the video title, we're going to be having a look at sort of lobbies of maps. In all good maps you need an introductory area, somewhere where you can read the rules, read the instructions, the point of the game, that sort of stuff. But most importantly, what you're going to need to make this look good is an easy, medium, hard button. I don't know if it's just me, but I think that they're essential. So I'm just going to be going for the standard look of green, orange, red. I don't know what the room could be. You could design the room yourself. I don't really care what the room looks like, to be honest. But let's just very, very, very quickly design some sort of wall, at least a wall. So here you go. This is your map's lobby. I mean, it's pretty rubbish, but I'm not quite the builder I used to be. I used to be a bit better than just a brick wall. But anyway, when this video isn't about lobby designing, it's about command blocks. So let's get one. /give @p command _block rub. There we go. So we have an easy, medium, hard button, and let's just go ahead and make, for instance, a I don't know, an instructions button. What colour should the instructions button be? I don't know, maybe orange stained clay. I don't come up with the colours. Well, actually I do. I'm making the video and I'm coming up with the colours. So we've got an instruction button, easy, medium, hard, and what else do we need? We need one to equip the player, probably. Yeah, that's probably fairly essential. Player equipment button. Although in these days in maps you don't really need a button to do that. So I suppose this will do. What else does a map lobby need? It needs to tell you what the game's about. So let's make one for that. That would be any colour I could possibly think of. White. And of course, in any real map you would actually have signs for all this. But of course I don't want to be wasting time making signs, so I'm just going to tell you. We got the green wall here, means easy. Set the game to easy, medium, hard. Then we got instructions and rules and stuff, and then you've got like an introduction thing, like welcome to the map. Like it gives you a book or something. I don't know, too many ideas. So how are we going to do this? Well, first of all, what we're going to need is the individual coordinates of the blocks in front of these what do you call buttons, because you may have thought, hey, he's just going to put a button on there, but no, because that looks terrible. I don't know how many of you saw my fridge over in that little room over there, but we're going to be using a similar technique because I just think it looks really cool. So, of course, all we need is the piston extension /set block whoops. If you don't know how to use the set block command, try my command block dictionary series. It might not be up yet. I've not uploaded on that series for a while, but it will be up eventually. If not, then check another YouTuber. Piston _extension. There we go. So now we have a whoa. What's going on there? Okay, that. Well, it performs the same function, so I'm not gonna complain. Let's see. I'm just curious. That's interesting. That's very interesting. That is actually what's going on here? It's halfway in between the blocks. I've never seen that before. When I was doing this over here, it was inside the block and nowhere else. But now this is weird. Look, if you look over here, we've got an example of whoa. Okay, well we can work around this. It doesn't really matter where the piston extension block is, you can still right click it and it will disappear. For those of you that don't know, that's what the piston extension does. I was just really confused by that because I don't know what's going on there. It should just act like a normal block. It should just do that, but be invisible. It's like a block that deletes itself when you right click it, but it's going halfway in the wall. I don't know what's going on, but for the purpose of this video, that's fine. You can see the hitbox is still roughly the same area as the button, which is what we want, because we want the player to be able to right click on the button and have a redstone signal come out of that. So this is exactly what we want, really. In fact, it's better because the click radius is smaller and more concentrated on the actual block rather than the area around the block. So now we have all these piston extensions. If I right click any of these, they will disappear, just like that. You saw the hitbox disappear just then. Hang on a minute, I'm going to put the 1 in there. There we go. So how can we turn this into a redstone signal? Well, we need a total of 5 command blocks running again and again and again under what's known as a clock. So if I get 5 command blocks here and run them all continuously with a redstone clock, just like this, I'm going to need some more stuff like a redstone torch, a lever. Just quickly build one of these. This video might end up being a bit longer than usual, but that's because command blocking is harder than anything else in Minecraft pretty much. So it's the hardest to condense into a smallish form. So here we have our 5 command blocks. What these will do, these will test for these blocks here, or rather these blocks being If that is true, then that means that it is no longer this weird piston extension block, which means that the player has right clicked it, because obviously you're not going to give the player blocks if it's an adventure map. That would just be stupid. So the only way this cannot be a piston extension is if the player right clicks it. So if we test for it being that means the player has right clicked it, doesn't it? Right? Yeah, that makes sense. So let's just start up this clock just like this. If you don't know, then this is a very simple clock here. But yeah, so now I'm going to need to get these coordinates and just put a bunch of test block commands in. I'll be back in just 1 second. Okay, so what I've just done, I've took the coordinates of all of these piston extension blocks, and trust me, they are in the block they appear to be. They're not actually inside the wall. They're here, but they're not here. It's really weird. I can't explain it. They are in the block above this brick block. They are in the block above this red wool block. It's just, it doesn't quite look like that. It's really strange. So, I've got the coordinates of the block above this red wool block, and this one, and this one, and this one, and this one. So now, when the blocks that are at the moment piston extension are converted to that should give a comparator output because the command was run successfully. In case you don't know, if a command is run successfully, a comparator placed next to it with the 2 torches facing the command block will turn on and give the smallest pulse possible, which is just 1 block. 1 block of redstone. You'll need a repeater further than that. It's pretty rubbish, but you can do some pretty cool things with it, as long as you put repeaters in, you know. If you don't have repeaters, it's rubbish. So, what can we do with this now? Well, now, what we can do is we can run a command based on all of these. So if this one is then that means it's no longer thingy-majig. It's no longer the piston extension. So what we're going to need to do is turn it back into a piston extension. But for all of you pretty much pros, you've noticed the flaw in this. If this one is powered, it's going to power the one here, and this one's going to power the one here. So when you're using comparators like this in a tileable fashion, you're going to need to put a block like this, command blocks like this. That way all of these are completely individual from each other and they cannot power each other. So now we can put these set block commands in. I'm not going to put any of the commands in because that'd be boring. I'm just going to explain it. This one is going to put a piston extension in these coordinates, this one is going to put a piston extension in these coordinates and so forth and so forth. So if at any time any of these are not piston extension, it will set block it back to piston extension. That way the player can press it again and again and it's still going to work. So what else we're going to need to do from this? Well, first of all we got green. Now of course I don't have a map, so I can't actually make easy, medium, hard. But what I could do is make a scoreboard called difficulty. And this one, easy, the first one, this command block here is related to this block, would set the score of difficulty to 1. Or maybe map underscore difficulty, something like that. This one is the orange block, which would set it to 2. This one is red, which would set it to 3. Now, of course, I don't actually have a map, so these wouldn't do anything. But what I would have at another point would be a clock running behind a command that tests for the player having a score difficulty of 1, and then from that, if the comparator output is true, that means that the difficulty is 1. Then you'll need 2 others, one for medium, one for hard. You need to test for the score being 2, the score of difficulty being 2, and if it is 2, then it would activate things that would set the difficulty of the map to medium and hard and so on. But of course I don't have a map, so I can just do setting the score. And what I could also do is, let's make this a bit more clever. If I put repeaters around here and put them same command blocks like this, maybe? I don't know. Wait, no, I've got it. I put the scoreboard command blocks, which set the difficulty of the map. I put them down here. You see, them are still going to be powered. And then if I put repeaters over here, what it can do then is actually wait, let me think about this. Just 1 second. Just one single second. If I think about this for just a little bit longer. Yep, I've got it. Have I? No, I've not. I have not got it. You know what I'll do? I'll just do a sort of thingy-majig of what I just said. I shall test for the player having that score. So I'll need 3 command blocks and a similar setup to over here, but in this occasion it's going to be testing for the player having a score rather than a block being in a certain place. So that's what them 3 are. That's testing for the player having score, and this is going to set the score. So I'll just quickly put them in and come back once I have done that. Okay, so now those commands have been added. Basically what happens is that when this block has been clicked on, it's first of all going to put the block back, it's going to put the piston extension back, then it's going to set the score of map underscore difficulty, which is basically just a variable. If you know coding language, a variable is just simply a name that can be given a value. That's all it is. It's a name that I've come up with completely out of my head, doesn't matter what it is, but I'm giving it a value of 1. And with that, I can then extract that information way off over here. I mean, it's a few blocks, but I could do this a few hundred blocks distance if I really want to. Now this is really a long command, and I'm not sure why it has to be so long. Well, I do, but come on really, Mojang. It's such a long way to do something so simple, but basically it just tests for this score of map underscore difficulty being 1, and if it is, it's going to give a comparator output, which again can run some more commands. Of course, here we got the difficulty being 2, difficulty being 3. Now, generally what I would have here is set block commands, set block redstone block commands, because for the difficulty to be changed in the map, it's going to have to run multiple commands. It's got to do loads of stuff. It's got to spawn less zombies. Well, actually, I suppose it depends on what type of map you got. But I'm just going to have a /say command here to make things simple. say at P. Now this is very special. It means that it's going to say whatever player is on the server. Well, the nearest player. It's going to say the name of the nearest player on the server. So at P, your difficulty has been changed. Or rather, your difficulty has been set to easy. Control A, Control C, and if I just put that in here, change easy to medium. It really is this simple. Whoops, not medium, and then again hard. I hope you can understand what's going on. If you don't understand what's going on, then please do comment with questions in the comment section below. I will make a less complicated video on this, hopefully. Or if you do get it, then comment about the video anyway. Say what you liked about it, say what you didn't like about it. So now let's just take a very quick look on what's going to happen. If you click this, in fact, I could give it to test one right now. Right, yeah, there we go. One thing that hasn't happened though is it hasn't been set back, and that is because I haven't put the commands in, of course. So I'm going to need these coordinates here. Set block the what's it called? I keep forgetting the name of this. I just like to call it invisible block, but it's not. It is piston extension. I'm going to put all those set block commands in, which allow the player to click on it more than once, because as you can see right now, nothing is happening because the piston extension has deleted itself. Okay, so now that that has been done, this is actually a fully functional thing. All it does though is say what difficulty you have. Obviously, like I said before, this isn't a real map. I can't get it to do anything particularly exciting. So here we go. It says Redstone Ninja, your difficulty has been set to easy, and that is of course because I put at P in here. Because this is a single player world, I can put at A, at R, it's going to do the same thing. I just prefer at P, simply for the fact because the at symbol and P on the keyboard are close together. So those function pretty well. It says your difficulty is set to medium, hard, medium, easy, that works. But over here, all we have are blocks that disappear and reappear when you right click on them. And the fact that they reappear means that we have already got a redstone signal out of them, so we can do more things with that. But this is really simple stuff, because all we have here are rules and instructions, like an introduction rules. So which one's which again? This one corresponds to this one, so this is the introduction. Now again, I have no map to give an introduction to, so introduction, I have no idea what the map's about because it doesn't exist, so I'm just going to say introduction. Wow. Introduction, wow. Now we also need one that says rules, and that's pretty much it for this. Say rules / instructions. There we go. And that is pretty much it. You'll see it's pretty concise. You can right click on these again and again. It's going to give you, it's going to reprint out the instructions and rules and what have you. But of course, the player has no idea what all this means. So one final thing all we have to do is, I'm not sure if this is even going to work, but hey, I can at least give it a try. No, it doesn't work. I'm sorry about that. Can I? Yep, there we go. I've just about got it in. Is that going to pop out? No, it isn't. Now that is fairly interesting. I didn't actually know you could do that. So what I'm going to do now is hopefully get that. There we go. Red wool, and place that in there. Yeah, that works. So now what I'm going to do is rename some items in item frames to the corresponding names of what these are. I'll be back in just 1 second when I've done all that. Unfortunately, my idea doesn't quite work. Now this entity in here is actually renamed hard, but you can't see it until you destroy the block. Just like that, see? Hard. You can just see it as it's being destroyed. If I is it this one here? Yes, I think it is. If I mess up that command here and destroy it for good, there we go. You can see it has actually renamed hard, but if I fix that command and rerun it like that, you can't see it. Unfortunately, that doesn't quite work. So what you'd have to resort to as a map maker in this situation is, unfortunately, signs. Yes, now I was going to put difficulty on a sign up here already, so maybe put, I don't know, maybe put the items in here, like something like that. Maybe that wouldn't be as bad, but then maybe the player would think you'd have to click on that. Nah, what you're going to have to resort to is placing signs on the bottom maybe, because I don't think you can put them there. No, you can't, that's impossible. Nope, it's gone. So you're going to have to put your signs underneath here with your text that says easy, medium, hard, difficulty, all that stuff. Signs is what you have to resort to. There's probably a more efficient way to do this, but unfortunately I have come to the end of this episode. I might come back to this because, as you can see, it's quite simple. I've not done too much of it, but I could do a bit more. I suppose I could do a bit more, so I might come back to this in a later episode. But for now, this has been the Redstone Ninja, and my work is done.